That step right left to my beat. I like don't move right with me, baby. I know that I got that hit. Were you the whole time? Hi. Um. Okay, I guess I should go to the video now. Y- Peace.
Kinda tired trying at the same shit.
They say that every artist is a mosaic of the people who shape their vision. I spend so much time building a universe, writing scripts, designing these massive high concept narratives, but none of that exists in a vacuum. I don't like this lighting. Today, I want to pull everything back, take a look behind the curtains, and break down those who inspired me. I want to show you the architects behind my creative identity, my creative DNA. So, first and foremost, let's go to the obvious picks. So, first is BTS, and they are not even arguably, they are undeniably the world's biggest group right now. But the sheer scale of their success isn't actually what draws me to them. Ever since I became a fan, became an army, I was absolutely fascinated by their internal dynamic. I've always admired how they have, what's the word I'm looking for? These incredibly distinct, fully realized individual identities, but as a group, they still feel completely singular, connected, and cohesive. When you are trying to create a musical ecosystem for 7 completely different members, figuring out how to let everyone and each person shine without fracturing the united front is, while it's a massive challenge, it's the ultimate challenge for a group, and BTS is an absolute masterclass at how to maintain this balance. Then, as we move on to their juniors and the youngest of the HYBE ecosystem, there's Cortis. I remember watching their behind the scenes documentaries and being completely in awe. They have this massive corporate label machine behind them, the kind that would often, type of infrastructure that often swallows artists, but they are still so deeply ingrained with their music. Seeing how deeply they are tuned in with the actual granular development of their music and their sound was, well, a revelation for me. It proved to me that no matter how big the production gets, no matter how wide the media expands, you have to keep your hands on the wheel of your own art. You ultimately have to be the primary author of your sound. Then, moving on, we have a group that I have spoken about in plenty of videos before, and that is ENHYPEN. Before I go on, I got a little distracted and I saw my other phone, and I just want to show you guys this little focus. Little, can you guys see it? Okay, I'll probably have to change this in grading or whatever, but the little ENHYPEN phone cover, it's just, love ENHYPEN, so I just thought it was cool. I've always admired the way that their concept and their lore is so seamlessly interwoven with their music, and as I'm sure you have learned, this is sort of the kind of thing that I have been striving towards with the concept of KRYZAE, and just the way that they're able to manage to carry this heavy, intricate mythology without ever forcing the sound into a rigid box. It's high concept, world building that actually serves the music rather than suffocating it. That ability to blend dark cinematic narratives with a versatile, ever evolving discography. Discography? Discography. Discography.
Discography.
Discography.
Discography.
Discography.
Discography.
Discography.
Discography.
What that text to speech said. Let me just start this from overs. The ability to blend dark cinematic narratives with a versatile, ever-growing
Discography.
is exactly the blueprint for building a lasting legacy. But beyond the broad strokes of groups and massive high concepts, they are the individual artists who have fundamentally rewired how I approach myself and my own art. JungKook is probably the one who inspired me the most on a deeply personal level. I've always wanted to be a vocalist, and his music, his specific blend of pop that he creates, has always been the exact sound that I naturally gravitated towards when I wrote my own songs. When I'm working through my vocal drills or stepping up in the booth recording my own demos, it's his level of precision, control, and vocal agility that I aim for. He makes the most complex techniques sound effortless, and that's the gold standard that I hold to my own work and my own music. Then there's Jimin, and I don't know how to fully articulate what it is, but whenever I see him dance, I'm just completely captivated by it. For me, it transcends just hitting the choreography. There's an emotional weight, a striking visual sharpness to it, and it's just flows. It's breathtaking, fluid, and every single movement paints a picture. That's always been the kind of effect that I want my art to have on people. I want to create something that's so magnetic, so visually and emotionally arresting that you simply just cannot look away. But then, when it comes to the pure mechanics of movement, I have to talk about J-Hope. The way his body moves is an absolute study in kinetic control. His isolation is flawless. When I'm in the studio running through my body isolation drills until my muscles give out, it's his precision that is the benchmark I'm chasing. He doesn't just ride and flow with the beat, he embodies it. Breaking down every Michael, another dancer, every micro movement with an aggressive, intentional perfection. Watching the process of an artist coming into their own is another massive source of inspiration, which brings me to Nikki. I remember watching Island and seeing his trajectory in real time. Documenting that kind of raw, unfiltered journey, which is exactly the energy that I wanted to capture when putting together the Becoming KRYZAE series. But it really shows you what the grind actually looks like. Watching someone fight tooth and nail for their dreams is nothing short of awe-inspiring. It reminds you that the polish you see on stage is brought with relentless, unseen grit. Finally, we have to talk about the sheer force of leading a team. And for that, my eyes are on Sophia. Throughout Dream Academy, I could instantly see her innate leadership qualities shining through. When you are structuring a dynamic and establishing the anchor of a group, the way Cryon acts as that definitive fire-themed leader to guide the other members, you need the kind of grounding presence. As someone who has constantly stepped into leadership roles, whether I'm directing on set or driving a creative project forward, I aspire to be exactly the same. She commanded the respect not through demands but through empathy, stability, and leading entirely by example. And I just want to make it clear that I'm not saying any of these groups are better than the others or any of these artists are better than the other members. These are just qualities that I have taken from them. And honestly, if I had to talk about every single artist who has inspired me, I don't think I'd be able to mentally handle the amount of editing that video would be, because it would be hours long. An artist is made up of every small little aspect in their life. Their best friends, their acquaintances, their family, all of it comes together and is ultimately what creates you into the person that you are. But these are the artists who laid the track. They are the vocalists, the dancers, the leaders, and the dreamers who gave me the blueprint to build my own world. Thank you guys for watching, and always know that no matter how many times you fall, you can always rise again. Bye.